My name is Gabriela Dias. I'm Brazilian and American. I came from Brazil when I was 14. My mom was divorced, and I remember she was taking me to the airport. And when I sat in the plane, which I was flying coach, obviously, I cried so much that they moved me to first class because I was disturbing the other people around me. And I was flying to a town called Cross City in Florida to live in a mobile home, which I found out was a trailer when I got there, but it sounded fancy, mobile home, so I thought it was a cool place to go learn English and fight for the American dream. The town that I moved to, Cross City, was very small, about 500 people, I think, and coming from a country where we are all mixed, was very weird to notice the difference in America, how things were just a little different. And I arrived in Cross City, did not speak a word of English. Got to this mobile home and started going to this school, and suddenly I was friends with my neighbors and started working and cleaning people's house and babysitting and learning a little bit of broken English. So I suddenly was in a different country, working without my family, and at the time, that's gonna tell my age, but at the time I didn't have a cell phone, and I think we used to send letters. I don't know if I had a computer. So to communicate with my parents, so my mom and my sister, I would have to send a letter and wait for it, and everything was kind of old news by the time you got it. And I learned that there was a way to ask the government to give me an extension, and I kept doing it many times, and as I waited for it, I realized that as you're waiting, they give you the right to stay in the country. So I decided to get a Greyhound bus with my luggage, not knowing Greyhound buses stop at every single city and bus stop. So if you don't know about that, you should think twice about getting a Greyhound bus. And I ended up in Chicago by myself with whatever little money I had. And then I went back to Brazil to visit my family, and then things were really bad at home. And so that's how I decided to come back to America again. Now that I spoke English, I thought it was going to be much easier. And I did. And I went to New York, and I started to look for another option of work. And I got into modeling. My background, my life story is a little different than the majority of girls that want to be models, right? For me, was more like, what can I do to survive? And what can I do with what I've got now, which I didn't really have any degree, any college, or didn't think I could go to college because I couldn't afford. And apparently I had what it takes to be a model as far as the way I look, but did not really have the patience and the social skills you need sometimes to be in the business. But I managed to get myself into the business, and I did really well. I traveled so much. I worked for the best brands out there, and I found a way to protect myself and to do the job and get paid and help my family without having to do certain things that this type of business entail at times, you know. I was the one that was boring, the one that didn't go to the party after the job, and the one that didn't do the drugs, or didn't want to socialize with certain people just because I didn't think they were very exciting or clever at times. So I just wanted to get paid, go to the job, do a well-done job, so I would be rehired and go back to whatever little studio I was living at the moment. So I did this for 15 years. I lived in London. I had a place in London and New York and Paris, and so many countries. But there was a point that I was so successful at the business that I was kind of having panic attacks of flying, and too many nights by myself at hotels. And I decided that I wanted to kind of branch out and experiment, new possibilities within the business. and be able to help other people along the way and create my own team and kind of call my own shots instead of being dependent on agencies and clients and other things that I have no control. I'm so thankful for my mother sending me away from home even though I was crying, and for America taking me in even though it is extremely hard to be an immigrant, especially a woman. We have to not only prove ourselves several times, but at the same time protect ourselves from like not only men but women too, just the lack of respect sometimes from your peers or from the society and men, and how many photographers I had to walk away. I came from the ghetto, so I look like I can't do stuff or I can't reply, and I wasn't afraid of just saying no.